This might be old news to some, but last year it was confirmed that the U.S. military has been manipulating social media by using fake identities to influence conversations and spread pro-American propaganda. It's called Online Persona Management Services. And under the CENTCOM contract, it allows the creation of up to 10 sock puppet accounts for every U.S. serviceman or woman working on the program. The stipulations are that every fake persona must have a convincing background, history, and supporting friend networks so that it will remain undetectable from even the most sophisticated adversaries.
Like there, Don.
I think we're about to be arrested because we're standing on the sidewalk and you said you want to...
Move out of the way, sir. Move!
We've been standing here all day, sir.
Let's go. Come on, let's go.
Okay, so that's what's happening here. So people are here and they're standing on the... You can see what's happening.
Like there, Don.
I think...
Like there, Don.
I think we're about to be arrested because we're standing on the sidewalk and you said you want to...
Move out of the way, sir. Move!
We've been standing here all day, sir.
Let's go. Come on, let's go.
Okay, so that's what's happening here. So people are here and they're standing on the... You can see what's happening. We've been standing here all day. They told us to come here. I can't move. I'm not going to resist a police officer. So I'm being pushed back by the police officer. You can see this is exactly what citizens have been dealing with. Now you see why people are so upset here. Now you see why people are so upset here. Because we have been here all day, they moved us here and told us this is our location, and they're doing the same thing to the people. So we're on national television, so imagine what they're doing people when you don't see on national television, the people who don't have a voice like we do.
Wired.com has uncovered a 2006 study written for the U.S. Special Operations Command that suggests the military should clandestinely recruit or hire prominent bloggers. The report stated, quote, hiring a block of bloggers to verbally attack a specific person or promote a specific message may be worth considering. The report also suggested the Pentagon hack blogs that promote messages that are antithetical to U.S. interests. The report stated, quote, hacking the site and subtly changing the messages and data, merely a few words or phrases, may be sufficient to begin destroying the blogger's credibility with the audience.
The average American would be so shocked to find out there's something called COINTELPRO, the FBI's covert action programs against American citizens.
Okay, here's more proof that these idiots were nothing but crisis actors taking supposed injured bodies back to the Pulse nightclub. Have a look at the guy in the red boots. They pass the camera, they think their job's done. I don't know if the guy in the black's a cop or what, but watch this. When they think they're off camera, let's stop here. Good work, boys. No one's going to see us. We'll just drop you down. You're all right. I'll just fucking laugh and dance around. Are you kidding me?
On the morning of September 11th, 2001, 19 men armed with box cutters, directed by a man on dialysis in a cave fortress halfway around the world using a satellite phone and a laptop, directed the most sophisticated penetration of the most heavily defended airspace in the world, overpowering the passengers and the military combat-trained pilots on 4 commercial aircraft before flying those planes wildly off course for over an hour without being molested by a single fighter interceptor. These 19 hijackers, devout religious fundamentalists who like to drink alcohol, snort cocaine, and live with pink-haired strippers, managed to knock down 3 buildings with 2 planes in New York. While in Washington, a pilot who couldn't handle a single-engine Cessna was able to fly a 757 in an 8,000-foot descending 270-degree corkscrew turn to come exactly level with the ground, hitting the Pentagon in the Budget Analyst Office where DoD staffers were working on the mystery of the $2.3 trillion that Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld had announced missing from the Pentagon's coffers in a press conference the day before, on September 10th. And the evidence literally fell into the FBI's lap.
That a hijacker's passport was found blocks from the World Trade Center crash site, if you can believe that.
You're swimming against the current, you go one way, and you're going a certain speed, but if you go along the current or the other way, you're going way faster. It's like that, but they couldn't measure shit. When you look into Michelson-Morley experiment, the results were we couldn't measure that we're moving at all. So it's always been a debate. Are we moving? Aren't we moving? Even with Einstein, it was a debate. Did like in the fucking 20s and 30s, they still didn't know. You assume, yeah, it's moving. It says right here, 1,000 miles an hour, it's rotating. But the people at the top don't even know. They don't even know, but we assume because we read it somewhere that they know, but it's all guesswork. When you watch this documentary, I'm just repeating shit, dude. When you watch this, they're all saying we're studying. This is when they found what they found in the cosmic background. They took one reading in 2006 and one in 2013, and the one in 2006. This is what the documentary is about. All these science are talking about it. Is they took a picture. It's called the cosmic microwave background. It's a picture of all the galaxies all the way around you. And they took a picture. They did it in 2006. It's not a conspiracy theory. This is a science documentary that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about a conspiracy theory documentary. It's a science documentary. Michio Kaku was talking
what's it
about
called
this.
Again?
The Principle.
Okay.
The
I'll
Principle.
check it
It's
out.
called the Copernicus Principle. And what they found, this is what they found in the first reading, and they thought there must be a mistake. There must be a mistake until 2013, the European Space Agency, they found the same thing. And this is what, right now, cosmology, they don't know what the fuck to do. You know what they found out? The cosmic microwave background shows that all the galaxies are on shelves lined up to us, that we're at the fucking center. They don't know what to think about
This is in this documentary?
That's what the documentary's about.
Nobody can write a review of it that says HIV causes AIDS because of this. You know, if a postdoc were to write a review of their literature that showed without much doubt that HIV was the cause of AIDS, that guy would be famous. Now, there's 100,000 guys out there who had the opportunity. Just 10 years has passed. We've been waiting for this star postdoctoral fella to distinguish himself forever and get a lifelong grant from Tony Fauci, but he hasn't shown up. No one has bothered to write a definitive review. Any journal would take it. That right there proves that HIV does not cause AIDS.
Because of the different criteria that apply in different countries, you can test HIV positive in one country and be given an AIDS diagnosis as a result of that, whereas in another country you won't test HIV positive and you won't be given an AIDS diagnosis.
It's ludicrous that you can be positive in one country and not positive in another.
Theoretically, I could be diagnosed with AIDS in the United States, but if I take 3 steps to my right, I wouldn't be diagnosed with AIDS, or I would lose my AIDS diagnosis when I cross the border.
False positive looks like a true positive. How can you ever distinguish whether it's truly a positive or a negative?
Well, that's a great question. It's going to be very hard to determine a false positive.
So I take the test again,
And this time my results come back marked from the lab indeterminate. I'm faced with the decision, do I want to wait 6 weeks to test again or do it right away? I opted for right away. My results that time come back positive. Took it again, came back negative. I took it again, positive.
Not allow you to tell a single person on this planet that they are HIV positive. And it's a scandal that this test continues to be used.
I did a study of the heterosexual transmission of HIV in California, and we recruited individuals who were infected with HIV. Then we recruited their sexual partners, and we looked at whether transmission, in fact, had occurred.
Padian runs a study. It's a 10-year study with the world's most virulent, terrifying sexually... I mean, this thing jumps, excuse me, off of penises into vaginas miles away. How many of them do you think, after 10 years, with the world's most terrifying, virulent, sexually transmitted disease came up positive? Nobody. Nobody. Nobody who was negative came up positive.
John Dewey, professor of philosophy in Columbia University, who was the next speaker, was listened to with great intentness. He said, quote, "Someone remarked that the best way to unite all the nations on this globe would be an attack from some other planet. In the face of such an alien enemy, people would respond with a sense of their unity of interest and purpose." Unquote.